Guys, little Hootie and the Blowfish, little rosé, little time for happy hour. Catherine, your first here, drinking Mourv-Carignan Rosé 2019 right here with me. Happy hour, guys. It is Thursday, July the 2nd, and it's over. So let's put something in our glass. Cheers. Celebrate the end of the day. And yes, the music is inspired by the one and only Ambozak. You're welcome. She gets a lot of crap for her Hootie and the Blowfish love, where we're from at the winery. And you know what? Today she got her wish. We're jamming out to Hootie and the Blowfish for the one and only. And woo! Yes, happy hour, guys. Tiffany, what is up? Drinking some rosé too. Leah's in the house. Eric and Alan drinking an ice cold Tufts Juice Pale Ale. That is a mouthful. It sounds really delicious though, because I could, man, hot weather like this, all about the pale ale. Love it. Guys, if you are just joining us, if it's your first time, make sure you let us know in the comments. Put 3 stars there. We want to shout you out, but I want to know where you are. I want to know what you're drinking. I want to know how you're celebrating the end of Thursday, July the 2nd. Guys, we're almost to the weekend. Cheers. Woo. This rosé is good right now, y'all. Woo. I was just saying, I did a shot of espresso to get a little pep in my step. And the first drink after espresso with this wine made it taste like Lipton iced tea. I don't recommend it. Now that I'm on like 5th or 6th sip, it tastes like rosé again. All right, guys. Who else is with us? Alan. Yes, you do want what I'm having. Leah's having some Ranch Rider Spirits Paloma. Ooh, Paloma sounds good too in Southwest Austin. I love it. Veronica's having some 17 tonight. Bill and Monica. Mourv-Carignan Rosé in Lake Jackson. Happy 4th to you as well, Catherine. Alta, good to see your name. Anthony, don't tease me. 19 pick pool. Guys, I want that wine so badly. I've been waiting on that. Jeffrey in Arlington having some cab. Philip Sangio from my friend Lisa, who is joining us on camera today in just a little bit. Ray and Grand Prairie having some skeleton key. I love it. I only want to be with you. Guys, I miss this music. I did really love this stuff back in the day. It's been a minute. Catherine Brundred is in the house. Yes, you need to have a Paloma also. Eric, good to see you as well. Eric did the same thing, espresso before his beer. You know, sometimes you just need that afternoon pick-me-up. Guys, we've got a lot to cover. I'm cutting the music off short. I'm going to bring up our special guests. So let us go live with Miss Lisa, the Grill Master Flick. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Happy hour.
Happy hour. Cheers.
Cheers, friend. Where are you and what are you drinking?
I am in room 1 of the farmhouse, and you've already commented on the flowers behind me. These are actually from right here on property on the grounds. Thank you, Carol Blackman, for the beautiful flowers.
No doubt, they are stunning.
And I'm a red wine girl all the way across. I have Philip Sangiovese.
I love it. Philip Sangio. And we're even going to talk a little bit about Sangiovese wines and the Chianti Classicos. Those wines were originally made for big pieces of flank steak and are perfect for red meat. Guys, I am very thankful to have Lisa, the Grill Master Flick, with us today because I'm going to be real honest with you. It's been a minute since I've been around a grill. Now, I'm really good at eating things that come off of the grill, but myself, I just haven't spent a ton of time in the grill itself. And I know Lisa has, and I know she has some favorites. So when we get to the wine nerd section and we're talking red wines for the 4th of July, we're going to bring her up and she's going to share all her wisdom and all of her expertise as well. So cheers to you, friend. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Okay.
Guys, I am so, like, every day is making me more hungry and more thirsty for 4th of July food and drinks, and I'm so ready. Before I jump in and do the William Chris wine of the day, let's see who else is. Greg is here with us with Pam. Porch Pounding, guys. Thanks for sending over the video. I got to check that out as I was prepping for happy hour. Guys, if you ever just want to like say hi, send us a video, send us a message. We love those. We love to hear from you guys. We love to know that you're drinking William Chris wine together out on the deck of your house or your vacation home or wherever you are. It's always great to hear from our fans. So thank you guys for sending that over. We love you. Richard and Ruthie drinking rosé in Fort Worth. Love it. Rick in Tulsa. Love our Oklahoma folks drinking Artist Blend. Guys, let's talk about this rosé for a second. Guys, y'all know we've been going through rosé like crazy. We sold out of Alta Loma Sangio rosé. We've got our, what else do we got? We have the, I'm going to have to bring Lisa back up here. What am I forgetting? It's a Mourv-Carignan, but there's one more. Lisa, what am I forgetting here?
No.
There's 3 rosés. We get the Alta Loma, the Mourv-Carignan.
The Sangiovese rosé, the Varasian Hills, and High Plains rosé.
Varasian Hills. That's the Varasian Hills is the one I was forgetting because that one has Tanat in it. Thank you, Lisa. I knew she would be in there in the clutch. But today we are drinking this bad boy, Mourv-Carignan rosé, 2019. So fresh rosé, guys. This only saw stainless steel. It's about 55% Mourvèdre, 45 Carignan, all Texas High Plains fruit. Happy hour. Let's all take a sip. Okay, guys. This one has more body. It's not as crisp and clean for me. We're headed from light body into medium bodied here. A little bit of like orange, like a little bit of citrus, a little bit of maybe even melon here for me. But orange and melon. Yep. I'm going to go orange, melon, maybe a tiny bit of white flour on there as well. For me, this immediately takes me, I had a friend make this a couple 4th of Julys ago. You know, I'm normally in Arkansas at the lake with my friends. Just been a few kinks in the plans because of all that's going on about that. But watermelon mint goat cheese salad. Guys, go look it up. Watermelon mint goat cheese salad and this rosé. You want that as one of your side dishes, okay? Watermelon mint goat cheese salad. And for those of you who like grilled veggies, right? Everybody likes those grilled veggie kebabs. I am not one of those people. I eat a lot of junk food and like red meat on 4th of July. But if you're into the grilled veggie kebab thing, this is also what you want to be drinking with that. We don't have an episode devoted specifically to rosé for 4th of July. But guys, it's so versatile. All of those side dishes you're going to be eating, the mac and cheese, the potato chips. So all of those kinds of things are going to be great for rosé. So think about that. You've got your white episode yesterday. We're going to go through the red episode today. And then you're going to have to stick around tomorrow because we're going to be grilling live on camera, Chris, Catherine, and Josh Ty. So we're going to talk more about that at the end of the episode. But let's move into red wine. Let's all take a drink and move into red wine. Leah's got a good suggestion here. If you're not a big goat cheese person, you can do cow's milk feta in that. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to bring Lisa back up here while I introduce our first category. So guys, you know, yesterday we went through 4 really important food groups that are for 4th of July. So all the episodes this week have been 4th of July themed. Today, we're going to be focused on those food groups that relate to red wine. So I know there's more than the 4 food groups we're going to talk about, but these 4 food groups are important for red wine. Oh, I left one off, guys. I'm going to have to rewrite this. So the first category is burgers and hot dogs together. We're going to loop that together because I needed to make room for brisket. Brisket, it's what you don't see here. So burgers and hot dogs is group 1. Second, we're going to talk about barbecue ribs. Third is brisket. It's missing from that list right there. Don't worry, it's later on in my notes. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the famous steak because in Texas, we eat lots of steak, hopefully wherever you are eating steak. So I'm going to go first. And before I ask Lisa what she loves. So category 1, guys, I want you to be putting your questions. If you have specific questions about what we're talking about, or like you know exactly what you're going to be eating on 4th of July, feel free to throw those in the comments while we're talking. But I want to hop into category 1 for red wines, guys. Burgers and hot dogs. This is probably the most classic food for 4th of July cookouts. The summer over, right? You're grilling, you're making burgers and dogs, okay? I want a light to medium bodied, fresh, crowd pleasing red with a chill. And when I say crowd pleasing, that means we have to go easy on the oak, okay? So this is either unoaked or only lightly oaked, light to medium bodied, fresh, crowd pleasing reds, like a GSM, like a Grenache Syrah Mourvèdre blend. So that's like our artist blend at William Chris, a Cinsault, right? Or a Texas Mourvèdre. I think the Texas Mourvèdre is very well suited for the burgers and dogs kind of crowd. But
how about,
I'm going to let Lisa tell me. Lisa,
Mourvèdre?
how do you think?
Well, I was going to say, how about the Timmins Mourvèdre?
And honestly, that's what I think is perfect for this category of food. So I was actually asked by our PR company to come up with like a William Chris Texas wines for the summer and for grilling. And that's the exact wine that I recommended for this category of food. For burgers and hot dogs, guys, our Timmins Mourvèdre, it only spent about 8 months in mostly neutral oak. It's a much fresher style of Mourvèdre, but still has enough of that kind of like savoriness in it to really pair with the meat. But I'm with you 100%. I'm gonna go like 30 minutes in the fridge, chilled.
Yes.
Timmins Mourvèdre.
Yep. And I would slightly chill that Cinsault as well. Just slightly.
Amen. Preach that. Preach that. I totally agree, guys. Almost all these, even when we get to the steak category, because it's so hot outside right now, I'm like, hopefully you can't see all the sweat dripping off my face. Even those big reds like your Petit Verdot and Tannats, it's worth a little chill most of the time because we're not storing stuff at like 60-degree cellar temperature. So burgers and hot dogs, guys, stick with the crowd pleasers that are fresh and easy to drink. Honestly, this is what I'm going to be drinking on Saturday. I'm going to have probably a Cinsault because I love it so much right now. Okay, the big piece here is little to no oak. Just remember that for your burgers and hot dogs. All right, second category, guys. Second category, barbecue ribs. So we need to talk about this. There's a pretty, I'm going to call it classic, which is weird to say because California Zinfandel was big for a long time. It kind of had its heyday, but barbecue ribs really ask for this full-bodied, jammy, and peppery red wine like a Zinfandel or a Shiraz. So there couldn't be, in my opinion, at least in like the Somm world, when we learn about pairings for barbecue and grilling food, if you're going to do barbecue ribs, you got to pair it with Zinfandel. I threw Shiraz in here because I really do think that you get the same jamminess and peppery notes from the Australian version of Syrah, which we call Shiraz. How about you, Lisa? Any thoughts here on barbecue ribs?
I have a million thoughts on barbecued ribs. So first of all, you just said barbecued ribs. You didn't say whether they were beef or pork. So my brain automatically goes to pork ribs.
Okay. So I think that's a good clarification here because in my brain, I think when I say barbecue ribs, I think when I was writing this, I was thinking the ones that you do pork ribs and you just like slather the barbecue sauce on there, right?
No, because they are cooked so well, you do not need barbecue sauce. It's all about the rub ahead of time.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. So I think that this is actually really good that we're talking about these guys. Toppings matter when we're talking about pairings.
And the rub matters too, because if you get something, one of my girlfriends, whenever I make ribs, and she has a very delicate palate, does not really care for spicy things. She usually always ends up drinking a whiter rosé with the ribs because just to kind of help cut down on that spiciness for her. So
yeah. I think that's a great point. As if we're talking about chili spice, like the stuff that makes you sweat and puts your mouth on fire, you want to think. Well, it's chili spice instead of oven. It's chili heat instead of oven heat, right? Like everything's going to be hot coming off the grill, but we're talking about spicy. You want to think about things that are lower in alcohol, not too high in acid, and just a touch of residual sugar, not sweet wine, not saying go get dessert wine, but things that have just a touch of residual sugar can help temper that spiciness. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really good point here. But guys, if you're doing like baby back ribs, like you slather the barbecue sauce, that's where my brain is with this Zinfandel jammy peppery pairing. So I think that's key here. If you're going to do more smoked dry rub type of stuff, I think a rosé is probably a better choice here.
And
Like Lisa was
the
saying.
Mourv-Carignan go great because they have a little bit of that same smokiness, but they're not super big.
Yep. You guys heard it here first, the Grill Master. I love this, guys. The other thing I want to talk about here is brisket, and you didn't see that in the original list. Okay, so let's switch over to brisket. You guys know that brisket is its own religion in Texas. Okay, so there's grilling, there's barbecue, and then there's brisket. Right? It gets its own thing. We all have our thoughts about who has the best one. Is it Franklin's, which is my personal opinion? Is there someplace in Lockhart that you're married to? Is it your own version? Did you stay up all night smoking it? So when it comes to brisket, I want to think about things that are medium to full bodied and savory. Okay, so there's a lot of these fresh, fruity red wines that we've talked about so far, like your GSMs and your Cinsaults, and even the Zins. They really bring fruit first. There are some reds that bring more savory, non-fruit notes first. And I think when you talk about Syrah, and a lot of times Syrah from the Northern Rhone, you get a lot of these amazing savory notes from those wines. Tempranillo is also one of those that a lot of times will bring a lot of earthiness. The oak aging that these go through also bring this kind of spice to it. And I added a bonus here because I know a lot of you have heard a lot of these names of wines, and I want to throw out potentially new ones you might not have heard of. So the bonus here is Valpolicella Ripasso. And this is to be clarified here. If you just do a regular Valpolicella, it's a little more light. So you might kick it up into some of the other categories we've already discussed, like burgers and dogs and even ribs. But the Ripasso is a much richer, heavier style and is going to stand up to the brisket better. The key,
and too, like we were talking about, because the briskets by nature do have a fatty component to them. You can not necessarily get bigger, but you could get away with way more tannins with that kind of fat. So
totally agree. And this is where I was talking with Lisa before we jumped in. You're going to notice that we're going to say like, hey, there's definitely some freedom here because there's so much crossover between like a really great brisket and a really great steak. I mean, we're talking about high quality red meat here, and they have similarities. So you can definitely move wines between these two categories. I think the key here for me with brisket is I love fatty brisket. I don't know about you guys. I don't do the lean stuff because I want real flavor. Okay. So when I order specifically fatty brisket, and I need acid in addition to the tannin, right? So both tannin and acid will help cut the fat. And what Northern Rhone Syrah brings, and honestly, like what good Tempranillo brings, it's grown a little bit at altitude, is a nice vein of acidity to cut through that fat.
And the Zin as well, right?
Yeah, the Zin can. Like Zin is known for having a lot of everything. I would say it's more known for its alcohol and fruit than it is for acid, but honestly, the pepperiness, especially if your brisket has that nice like pepper crust, like I know a lot of the ones that I love do, that Zin is going to go well here also.
Yeah.
Yes, Leah's talking about fatty with a thick bark. I love that. Bill's
Yeah.
asking petite Syrah, or is that too much? You could absolutely do petite Syrah.
Bill, wait. You're talking about my favorite wine.
I knew you'd get Lisa with that one, guys. So this is for real, like the petite Syrah one, I feel like could either go in this category of brisket or this last category. So let's move on to the steak. Which, guys, I don't know about y'all, but I am so hungry. Can we just like pause? Let's all take a drink. I need something to like cheers, happy hour.
Where's my steak?
Seriously, like, can I get that delivered? maybe I need to swing by. Who can I swing by? I don't know if any. Usually I think Franklin's had to close for a little while. They had an employee come down with Coke. Maybe La Barbecue's open in Austin. I don't know. I need somebody else cooking that brisket, or a Jeffrey's steak right now. I could pick that up. Okay, guys, let's move on to steak, because let's be honest, that's what we all want is steak. Well, maybe I should speak for myself. I don't know about y'all, but I want a steak. With steak, and yes, there's so much variation in steak, and I'm sure Lisa's about to school me on what the right steak is that she would want. But for me, if I'm talking about steak on the grill for this July 4th, I want a full-bodied tannic red, like Barolo, Petit Verdot, or Tannat. And I did give you a bonus here. I'm going to talk about that in a sec, but let me wine nerd out for a sec before I turn the mic over to Lisa to school me on some steaks on the grill. Guys, Barolo is made from the Nebbiolo grape in Northwest Italy. Guys, this wine was made for big steaks. It has intense tannin. It has intense acidity. This wine is actually kind of difficult to drink on its own, and is made for something like this. Put your hands on a good Barolo with a little bit of age, because remember, Barolo, like, it's rough in its youth. Petit Verdot and Tannat. Tannat got its name for its tannin content. And in Uruguay, they serve this with these giant steaks, these sides of beef that they grill outdoors over these giant bonfires. So, like, this is what it was made for. The Zina Mavro is your bonus here. This is Greece's version of Barolo. So think about that Nebbiolo stuff I just told you about Barolo. Zina Mavro is from Greece, and it is kind of their version of a Barolo. It's a different grape. So Zina Mavro is the name of the grape. Yes, you pronounce the X like a Z, and it is lighter in body, but full-bodied in flavor and structure. So it comes with a lot of acid and a lot of tannin, and is really great for steak. I'm going to shut up for a sec. Lisa, talk to me about steak on the grill.
Well, I love grilling, and I love steak on the grill. I would typically do a ribeye. I'm going to almost always do something with a bone. I think it adds something to the flavor profile. And definitely. And the problem with like doing a brisket or doing ribs, because of the longer cooking time, by the time you drink that 6-pack while you're getting it ready, and then it's time for dinner and you open the wine. So steak is a little bit more of an almost instant gratification thing too. Quick cooking time. You never want to overcook it. So
I love that. And something that I learned actually from the pastor at my church is to rest your steak after you pull it off the grill before you cut into it.
Absolutely. And you want to have it at room temperature before you put it on the grill. So you want to sit it, don't pull it straight from the fridge and put it on the grill. You want to sit it out, season it, let it come to room temperature before you put it on the grill. So
guys, y'all didn't know you were going to get wine pairings and grill tips from a real life grill master.
And I don't know if for you guys that haven't met me, I'm very impatient. And I have to set a timer. Otherwise I'm like, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? So I have to set my timer. So I don't touch it or turn it until my timer has gone off.
Yep. I think that's so good. I would be in the same. I had to teach myself that because during quarantine, guys, I did a cast iron steak, and I was like, you got to let it rest. And so I told Alexa, I was like, Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes, and just like let it sit. I do want to bring something up here. A lot of you are, not a lot of you, but some of you in the comments are talking about Bordeaux varieties. And I very purposefully did not bring up Cab Sauv and Cab Sauv blends. And that's because it will always work. And people learn this. It's like one of the first wines and pairings that we learn about. And I just didn't feel like I needed to tell you that Cabernet Sauvignon will absolutely go with red meat. So like, yes, should you and can you drink Cab with your steak and with your red meat? Absolutely. Can you do Napa Cab? Can you do Texas Cab? Can you do Bordeaux blend Cab? Like all of the above? Absolutely you can. I wanted to add value and maybe tell you something you haven't heard and give you some additional options. But always Cab is going to be a good option here. It's honestly hard for me to drink Cab if I don't have red meat in front of me. It's just so big and intense and tannic that like it begs for food. So 100% for those like Cab and Merlot drinkers out there, like go get it. If you're gonna do Merlot, you either need to get it in a blend with Cab or something that's been fairly oaked, or you can get Merlot in a Super Tuscan blend. Those Super Tuscans from Italy were made for this as well. And the reason I'm telling you to get it either with Cab or with Sangiovese in a blend is because you need tannin. And Merlot a lot of times is a little too blousy, a little too flabby
Blousy?
without the yeah. So like think about a wine that's like, you know, if you're wearing a blouse of a shirt, you know, it's kind of like wavy and free.
Okay.
It doesn't have a lot of structure.
I gotcha.
So you need, with red meat, you need that tannin to like bring in all of that delicious fruits. Like don't get me wrong, I love Merlot. Love. I think it's incredible. We should be drinking more of it, but it needs structure if you're going to put it with red meat. It needs something, you need that tannin to cut through the fat.
So I don't, if anybody has any more 2014 Enchante at home, 2014 was like, it was like this campfire smoky, man, that is so great with anything you throw on the grill. You get that little smoky tie-in, but it's such a smooth blend. It's throw something on the grill and have it with Enchante. It's lovely.
Guys, this is the kind of pro tip that you only get from somebody who's been with William Chris as long as Lisa and has been able to drink back vintages of our wine. Like, you are getting the real good, the good here today. So you're welcome. Thank you, Lisa, for bringing that. I want to throw a bonus out here, guys, because I did it yesterday to throw you for a loop a little bit to pair your Cercial Madeira with steak. Today's bonus is pecan pie, because yes, apple pie is the classic, but there are a lot of folks in Texas who like, they only eat pecan pie. Doesn't matter like what the holiday is, doesn't matter if it's fall or not, like they want pecan pie. And so if you're going to do pecan pie, this is a very classic, in my opinion, classic pairing is you want a light, fruity and spicy red like Gamay. Guys, it's going to blow your mind. This is actually really great fall pairing because of the spices that typically go in pecan pie and that show up in Gamay. These two things are going to sing together, but you gotta chill that Gamay. That Gamay needs to be like on full rosé chill. So like 30, 45 minutes, an hour in the fridge, and serve it with the pecan pie and blow people's minds. So I don't know if you've had pecan pie in the past.
I like lemon chess pie. I don't know if anybody's a fan of that, but I love a lemon chess pie.
Okay, what like talk to me about the flavors in a lemon chess pie, and maybe what would you want to drink with it?
So it's well, sadly, I would probably just have more red wine, but
hey, that's still, I guess it's such a good thing to mention here is that like, we sometimes overthink this, especially Psalms. We overthink the pairing thing. And a lot of times, guys, we want something, a food that tastes good and a wine that tastes good. And that's it. And they don't always have to be this perfect, beautiful marriage. It's just like, I like thing A, I like thing B, I like to eat thing A, and then I like to drink thing B. And then like that equals C, and I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, and still, I mean, I'm a huge, okay, well, first of all, I've never been a huge fan of dessert wines. There's only been a few port style wines that I liked. Our Jacques is one of them. And yeah, I'm like a little something chocolate with a little bit of my Jacques is great after a big steak too. I think it works instead of Tums. I think that's what you should.
Well, I don't know if I can agree with that, because I've got like the full extra strength sitting in my medicine cabinet. I've got it ready to go, guys. My Tums is in full effect for quarantine. I've been eating way too many not great things. So, guys, this has been a trip. Lisa, you have brought all of the grill master knowledge. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Guys, I have some important announcements to give to you before I let you go. Number one thing, so we are going to pivot to these three things here. Number one thing is tomorrow, instead of happy hour, we're having a virtual tasting. So like, let's talk about that. You don't want to miss it. We've been doing themed 4th of July all week on happy hour, and it's going to be an even better, bigger thing I love it. We're like, we can barely see Lisa's eyes over the top of this text box.
I can peek out the edge. Hi.
Tomorrow at 4. Okay, so it's different than happy hour, right? Tomorrow at 4 p.m., Chris, Catherine, and Chef Josh are going to be here to talk about all the perfect barbecue pairings like we've been doing. We might have stolen a little bit of their thunder, but they're going to tell you all about the wines tomorrow that are in that tasting pack. Y'all, I found out from Lisa, I didn't even realize that 18 Cinsault is in that pack.
So like, I haven't even been able to. Place it's been released.
So like, holy cow, I didn't know that. Guys, the Mourv-Carignan Rosé is in there. We've got Cinsault. We've got the 18 Hunter in that pack. Like, you're not even going to be able to see that till September. You can still get that if you do curbside pickup. So like, get online and get that. That's actually thing number 2. I see some of you in the comments telling me you got your shipment today. It's gonna be baller tomorrow. Okay, guys, you are not gonna want to miss this. So thing number 2, you can pick up your virtual tasting at curbside, and we're open from 10 to 5 every day for you to come do that. So please, please, please come pick up your virtual tasting if you haven't gotten it already. Take the drive out to the Hill Country. It's a beautiful one. There's a link there if you want to pick up that pack. Okay. Third and last but not least, I will be back on Monday for happy hour, and I'm going to be drinking the 17 High Plains Mourvèdre. Guys, I am naming Monday Mourvèdre Monday from now on. And happy hour, we're gonna drink Mourvèdre because we have no shortage of Mourvèdre at William Chris. So we're gonna have a different Mourvèdre every Monday, 5 p.m. 2017 Texas High Plains.
So sorry,
yeah,
hey, dude.
Come on.
So in case somebody watching doesn't know, did you guys know we are the 2nd largest producer of Mourvèdre in the United States?
No big deal.
I think we totally should have Mourvèdre Monday.
Yes, 100% agree. Guys, we love it. It's such a great grape for Texas. And we will sing its praises forever and ever. I think it's great. It can show up in a lot of different styles. We're going to drink some more of it next Monday. So do not forget to tune in tomorrow, an hour earlier than normal, 4 p.m. for the virtual tasting with Chris, Catherine, and Chef Josh. They're going to give you all the tips and tricks that you didn't get from yours truly. I mean, like, this is a pretty dynamic duo, right, guys? Like, I got the wine, Lisa's got the grill master. Maybe there should be like future happy hours with me and Lisa where we talk about cooking and drinking. I'm in for this. So
I might need a little superhero outfit though to go with it. I'm not sure.
Duh. Can we call you like Lisa the Super Grill Master Flick? Guys, thanks so much. Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. Hey, let's cheers today. I want to cheers to all the grocery store workers out there, guys. Guys, the stockers, the clerks, the butchers, everybody who's been working throughout all of this COVID business. It's been crazy, and they've been there to make our groceries go round. So
I have a special cheers.
Come on, Lisa, bring it.
The drive-through lady at the liquor store.
And the drive-through lady at the liquor store. Let's be honest, we all need whoever she is. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Lisa.
Cheers.
Guys, see y'all tomorrow at the virtual tasting at 4 p.m. right here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And